Hello and welcome. This course was built using Nitrous as the online integrated development environment, but recently Nitrous has changed its pricing model. So now the free tiers are no longer free. An alternative you have for a free workspace is with Cloud9. So you can basically go to Cloud9, so go to c9.io, and then you can click on sign up, and then enter in a username, and then your email address, then a password. Then I'm going to click on this to say I'm not a robot, create your free account. Okay, all done. Your Cloud9 account is ready. We've sent a verification email to this email address, which is the address that you use to sign up. So click on that link to verify your account. I'm going to take care of that real quick and return to this video. So I'm going to pause temporarily. So here's the email that I received. Here's the activation link. I'm simply going to click on it. And when I click on it, this is the page that shows up. Here are my workspaces. So we're going to create a new workspace. So click over here. And then over here, I'm simply going to say complete Ruby on Rails course, which is the workspace name that I'm going to choose. Description, I'll say workspace for the complete Ruby on Rails developer course. And I'll keep this private. I don't need to leave this public. I don't need to clone from Git or anything. Right here, I'm going to choose Rails as my stack or the template and then create workspace. It's creating the container. Okay, and once you sign up, here it is. It gives you a welcome message and shows you some things on how you can configure your workspace. I don't know what this is. Hi, complete. In a couple of minutes, I can make you. Okay, I don't need to take a look at this. I'm going to close that. Can I remove this? Actually, nope, that's fine. I'll leave that as is. Over here, I'm going to scroll down. It says soft tabs 4. I'm going to change this to 2. Okay. And here is the terminal window. And here is my tree. Okay. Now, the only difference between Nitrous workspace and here is that the complete Ruby on Rails course workspace that we created is actually a Rails application that came with this workspace. So I don't want to be in my Rails application itself. I want to be in my home directory. So over here, if you type in ls, you'll see that this is actually a Rails application, which is workspace. To move up one directory, I can simply type in cd space ... I'm no longer in my Rails application. And then I can make the same update here. If I click on this, it says show root file system. I'm going to show home in favorites. Okay, that is my directory that I want to be in. And I also want to get rid of this option that says show root file system. All right. And there is my workspace, which is the Rails application. And here I am. So let's look at what we have installed here. To see the Rails version that we have, we can type in Rails space -v. We have Rails version 4.2.4, which is fine. We use Rails version 4.2.3 for the applications we are going to build in this course, so 4.2.4 should be fine. And then Ruby version, we're going to say Ruby space -v. We see it's Ruby 2.2.1, which is also great, okay? And that's all we need. Now, over here, I'm going to get rid of this welcome screen. And if you look over here in Workspace in the Rails app, whenever you open a file, it's going to show up here. Okay, so this is your text editor. And this will be very similar to what you see in your Nitrous development environment as well in the videos. So a lot of it will be very, very similar. Now, one of the differences between Nitrous and Cloud9 is the Ruby version manager, which we spoke of in the getting familiar with Nitrous development environment. Nitrous came with RBENV, okay, RBENV, but Cloud9 has RVM. RVM we're going to use very briefly, but with that we can manage different versions of Ruby. For example, we can type in RVM list and it will basically say which versions of Ruby are available in our workspace. We have 2.1.5, we have 2.2.1. If we want to switch it, we can simply say RVM use Ruby-2.1.5 and it switches to using 2.1.5. Now if I type in Ruby space -v, now you see it's 2.1.5. I can switch back and simply say RVM use Ruby-2.2.1 and it switches back to 2.2.1. Okay. If you want, you can look up the usage of RVM at this time, but I'm not going to spend too much time on it because we'll really not spend too much time switching Ruby versions. But that's something good to know. Now here, since we already have a Rails application in our workspace, which is workspace, if I type in ls, you'll see workspace. That is actually a Rails application. So let me navigate to workspace. Okay, now I'm going to run the Rails server at this time to ensure that the preview and everything else is working. To do that over here, I can type in this button that says Run Project. And when I do that, over here, look at this, the Rails server is running. All right, and then once the server starts, now here's a link where my code is running. So I can type this out if I want, or over here where it says Share, I can click on this, and here is the application, right? Here's the link. So if I click on this application link and then copy and then close this out, go to an existing browser window or tab or create a new tab and then paste that. And there it is. There's my preview. There's my application that's running. If I click on About Your Application's Environment, I can see Rails version, Ruby version, everything. Okay? And then to shut down the server, I can simply say Control-C, and that shuts down the server. Now, if I want to rerun this again, I can just click on Run, and it restarts the server. It shows where my code is running. Another option is I can simply click on Stop to stop the server. So right there, and it basically exits it. All right. Now, another option I have to run the server is I can type in Rails S -b string IP -p string port. Okay, so Rails S space -b space string IP -p space string port and hit enter. That also starts the server. And then I can go to the same preview link, so share right there. I can copy it, then I can go back here, I can Command V to paste, and there it is. You can see the preview again. So there are a couple of ways you can view the application, run the server, and go to the preview link. All right, and I'm going to close this out. And again, to shut down the server, Control-C. Okay, so pretty much everything else is going to be the same between the two, between Nitrous environment and here. So I'd encourage you to play around with this workspace and see, get familiar with it. Now, when you're deploying to Heroku, which you are going to do later, you may need to install the Heroku tool belt. So again, follow the steps that we follow in Nitrous and you'll be fine. pretty much everything is going to work the same way. Just ensure that when we create Rails projects directory and we create new Rails applications, that you are not in this workspace application, which is the fundamental difference. Here, workspace is an actual Rails application. So you want to do most of your code from here, where you type in pwd and it says home Ubuntu and not workspace. Okay? Now, there may be times where you see an error show up that says bash:\rails command not found if you're trying to issue a command. Sometimes that may happen. What you can do is you can simply create a new terminal window by clicking on the plus sign here, and you should be fine. Now ensure that you are in the directory that you need to be, because when you click on terminal, it'll by default bring you to your workspace Rails application. And everything else, for example, when you're trying to create a directory, would be the same. If you're trying to create a new file, that would be the same. If I wanted to create a new directory for Rails projects, I can say mkdir space Rails_projects. And notice how the Rails projects directory shows up here. Now, if I navigate to Rails projects by typing in cd Rails projects, then I am basically in this directory. From here, I can start a new Rails application or do anything else I want. So if I type in Rails-v, again, I have Rails installed. So I can simply I can create a new Rails app here by typing in Rails new and then name of app or whatever I choose. Okay? And this is where we're going to spend most of our time, Rails projects and creating different Rails applications. All right, so that's all I wanted to cover in this video. Hope that solves your problem of the free workspace. And this is very similar to Nitrous, so you should not face any problems. If you do, feel free to post them in the discussions area and I'll be more than happy to help. And a lot of students are using Cloud9 from my other course, so you should not face any issues using this. All right, great. With that, I'm going to sign off from this video. I'll see you later.